Chris is an Air Force veteran. His 20-year military career was spent in the electronics and information technology field. He has been married to his beautiful wife, Diana, for 10 years and 3 wonderful children, Christopher Jr., Daryl, and Kiana. During his academic career, he has earned an Associate's of Electronics, an Associate's in Information Technology, a Bachelor's in Business Information Technology, a Master's of Information Technology Management, a Master's of Business Administration, and today completes his Master's of Project Management here at Keller. Christopher plans on pursuing his professional doctoral of Information Technology Management next. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Houston.
Wow. I get to follow the most successful person in the room. I didn't sign up for that. Martin Luther King was quoted as saying, "Intelligence plus character is the goal of education." Dean Bryant, faculty, guests, fellow graduates. My speech is about education and what motivates me to be a continual learner. Most of the motivation comes from the fact that I'm a veteran and the federal government continues to pay for my education. The second place my motivation comes from is I want to have the ability to impact my children's lives. I believe pursuing your education, you have to say, it's not what the educators can give to you, it's what you can take from the educators. Education is not just about reading and regurgitating information. It's about taking that information and using it in your everyday life. Because application of your education is the key. My friend asked me, he said, "Chris, when you get up there to speak at the commencement ceremony, what should the audience take away from your speech?" I thought about it and I said, I hadn't really thought about it. I said, well, I hope what they take away from my speech is I want them to look at education in a new light. I want them to look at education and to become a continual learner, to think about becoming a continual learner. And I hope they take away from some of my experiences and use them in their life, because application of your education is the key. My daughter is a prime example of applying your education. She's 5 years old and she goes to Cornerstone Christian Academy. Every day I pick her up from school, I bring her home, I get her dinner ready, she goes in her room, watches television while she eats dinner. This particular day, she goes in her room, I bring her dinner in there too, I turn to walk out, and she says, "Dad, can you turn the television on for me?" And I said, "Kiana, why didn't you turn the television on before you got into bed and got all comfortable?" She says, "Dad, aren't you supposed to serve the ones you love?" You see, she's applying her education because at Cornerstone Christian Academy, they not only learn math, English, science, they learn good Christian values. I've learned something from each one of my degrees, and I found a way to apply that to my life. I obtained my associate's degree in 2002. About 8% of Americans obtain an associate's degree, and they earn about $4,200 a month. My associate's degree taught me analytical thinking, problem solving, and troubleshooting. All traits that can be used in your life and your business. I earned a bachelor's degree in 2004. 17% of Americans earn their bachelor's degree, and they earn on average about $5,400 per month. What my bachelor's degree taught me was time management and persistence and perseverance. Because my wife and I, we actually got our bachelor's degree together. And while we were doing it, we were taking classes, 2 and 3 classes every semester to get that done. We were even deployed to Saudi Arabia, and we continued our education online so we can graduate on time. So it taught me perseverance. I completed my master's in information technology management in 2006. About 6.7% of Americans complete their master's degree, and they earn about $600 to $800 per month. What it taught me was to pick a career that's marketable and growing. A friend of mine works in North Carolina A&T, he's a counselor. And we've been friends since about the 3rd grade. He calls me up one day and he says, "Chris, you won't believe it. This guy comes to my office. He graduated last year, and he says, Mr. Washington, I can't find a job. I've been looking for a job for about 9 months, and I just can't seem to find a job." So Martinez, being the good counselor that he is, he says, "Listen, bring your resume in. If you're doing any community service, bring all that in. I'll go over it, and I'll help you write your resume and get you a job. He says, oh, by the way, what's your degree in? The young man says, romance literature. Get your degree in something that's marketable. I achieved my MBA in 2011. Now, what the MBA taught me is pretty simple. You subtract your total expenses from your revenue and you get your net income. You can take that right straight to your house. You subtract your total bills from your paycheck, and what you have left over is your spending money. Now, you're probably looking at me saying, well, that's pretty simple, and it sounds like common sense. But just like my dad always told me, common sense is not always common. My MBA also taught me to view my work life as a job and a business, because your employer is going to view it that way, and find a way to obtain a competitive advantage. Former CEO Jack Welch was quoted as saying, if you don't have a competitive advantage, don't compete. How do you get a competitive advantage? How I get a competitive advantage is getting up here speaking in front of people. Because once I learned that 50 to 60% of Americans would rather die than get up here and speak, I knew that's the way I could get my competitive advantage. I'm graduating tonight with my master's in project management. And to me, a master's in project management is nothing more than an advanced degree in goal setting, one of my favorite subjects. In project management, you basically have 5 stages. You initiate, you plan, you execute, you monitor and control, and you close the project. In goal setting, you have 5 similar phases. You decide what you want to do in goal setting. That's just like initiating. You plan, you make a detailed plan of what you want to get done. You move straight into activity after that. That's the same as executing. You check your results because you want to make sure whatever your goal is, you check to make sure you're moving towards that goal. And you learn from your mistakes and set another goal. As I mentioned earlier, a friend of mine asked me, what do you want the audience to take away from your speech? Well, be a good problem solver. Use your time wisely and persevere. Pick your education and your career wisely. Treat your work life like a business and gain a competitive advantage. Set attainable goals with timelines, because a goal without a timeline is nothing more than a dream. Lastly, education has given me the drive to succeed. Napoleon Hill called that a definite purpose. And I want to close my speech with a poem that I recite on a regular basis to make me stay congruent with my definite purpose. If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it, if all that you scheme and dream is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it, lose all your terror of the opposition for it, then you simply just go after that thing with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, confidence, and stern pertinacity. If neither cold, poverty, famine, nor gout, nor sickness, nor pain of body and brain can keep you away from that thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God, you will get it.
Thank you very much. Ed. Thank you very much. Ed has a little gift of our appreciation for you. Thank you, Chris.
DeVry University would like to present a leadership award to the student who has exhibited outstanding extracurricular leadership within the DeVry University community. This year, the leadership award belongs to Christopher Houston.